Good afternoon, everyone. Today is January 12th, 2024, Friday, 12:30. Let's briefly discuss today's foreign exchange market. The net profit is negative, around $1.08,000, and the current net value is $735,000. Now let's review the mysterious operations from yesterday. I encountered a fraudulent market situation when I woke up this morning. The price didn't move, yet I unexpectedly incurred a loss of nearly $20,000. Let me share the details of yesterday's questionable operations. Yesterday, I made 3 trades in gold, all of which resulted in stop losses, with not a single profitable one. Let's go through the details. First, I entered the gold market at 29, thinking it would go up significantly after the data release. However, the data turned out to be much better than expected, causing gold to drop sharply. I incurred a loss of $4 per ounce, resulting in a loss of around $4,000. After the initial loss, I re-entered the market at a higher position, buying 10 lots initially and adding another 20 lots later. This time, the trade was profitable, gaining nearly $8,100. However, instead of closing the position, I held on to it, thinking that with such bad data, gold would surely go up. Unfortunately, it dropped again, and I incurred a loss in this trade as well. For the third attempt, I waited for a pullback and entered another long position. This trade was profitable initially, but as gold failed to break through a certain level, I decided to close it for a smaller profit. In total, these 3 trades resulted in a loss of approximately $18,000. Reflecting on these trades, there were many mistakes, and the decision-making process was flawed. However, at the time, considering the strong data and the gold price not dropping significantly, it seemed reasonable to expect an upward movement. Today, I still believe that gold has a high probability of going up, so I will continue to buy on dips. Next, let's discuss today's market. Personally, for the US dollar index, I anticipate a downward movement. As for gold against the US dollar, there might be an upward trend today, especially considering the potential for increased market volatility on Fridays. There's a possibility of a sharp rise in gold and other non-US assets today, influenced by external uncertainties, such as the ongoing military conflict. The Red Sea Escort Operation 3.0 inches has resumed, indicating intensified naval clashes between the United States and the Houthi rebels. Therefore, it's essential to pay attention to the news tonight, as there might be significant developments in the capital market, particularly in the maritime sector. This situation is particularly favorable for gold, especially given its impact on crude oil prices. Now let's take a look at the US dollar chart. If we focus on the US dollar, it seems to be in a continuing consolidation phase. In my opinion, the trend leans towards weakness, so today's strategy involves anticipating a rebound in gold and selling the US dollar. Despite the strong CPI data yesterday, the US dollar did not show a significant upward movement. Therefore, I suggest continuing to short the US dollar with a key level around 102.55. For gold, looking at the current trend, it appears to be consolidating at a strong level. There's optimism for gold to move upward and challenge the previous highs. However, if the current rebound fails to surpass certain levels, it might lead to a downward movement, potentially breaking the current support. The strength of this rebound will determine its potential. The strategy for today is to consider going long on gold on a pullback, with a target around 2025. Moving on to crude oil, examining the daily chart suggests that oil is approaching a consolidation phase. This consolidation pattern is somewhat narrower than the previous one. It's advisable to wait for this phase to play out, and there's a positive outlook for oil to break upward. Today's strategy involves considering long positions on a pullback, with a level around 72.4. For the euro, the current position indicates solid support. The euro's consolidation suggests a potential upward movement, especially considering the overall downward trend of the US dollar. The euro has been trading in a range, and there's a likelihood of it continuing the upward trend. Today's strategy involves considering long positions on a pullback, with a level around 1.0945. Certainly, here's the translation for the information about the British pound and the overall strategy for today. Speaking of the British pound, it has recently reached a new high. Considering this, a potential long position could be considered around 1.274. Summarizing today's strategies: USD, US dollar. Bearish view, considering a short position on rebound around 102.55. Gold. Bullish view, considering a long position around 2025. Optimistic about a significant rise, potentially breaking through 2045. Crude oil, considering long positions on a pullback around 72.4. Expecting substantial volatility, particularly in oil markets. Euro. Bullish view, considering a long position on a pullback around 1.0945. British pound, considering long positions on a pullback around 1.274. Given that it's Friday and considering the increased market volatility, combined with the current geopolitical uncertainties, it's advisable to manage risks carefully, set stop-loss orders, and secure positions. Wishing everyone a pleasant weekend.